Hi, everybody. It looks like we're starting to see some people join our session. Up to 24, it looks like 25. We'll give people a couple of minutes to just come in before we get started. Perfect. Excellent. Still just a couple more. We'll just give it a second. Excellent. Well, we won't take too much time getting ready. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight to our second partners presentation, our webinars for our partners to present to you guys, our students, on some topics related to their services. So tonight we have Ms. Stephanie Hiltz joining us from Insured. And she is going to be talking about their Stay Safe at School program. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Stephanie. I'm so excited to hear your presentation and hear what you have to say to our students. As a reminder, everybody, these sessions will be recorded. So if you miss part of it, if something happens, we're going to post them all on our partners page. On our website, so you'll be able to access those at any time. So if you have friends who aren't able to join for some reason, you can just let them know they can go to the partners page and the link will be provided there. And I will put the link to our partners page in the chat so that everybody has it and they can access that. On our partners page, also, you'll find more information about each one of our partners and the services and discounts they may offer to our students and the different programs they have, which is really exciting. So, Stephanie, thank you so much again for being here tonight. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Allison. That was a really warm introduction. Hello, everybody, coast to coast across Canada. It's so nice to be in front of you this evening. As introduced, my name is Stephanie and I work for Insured. Some of you use our insurance products, but tonight I'm going to be talking about our Stay Healthy at School program. And this is a service offering that extends to everyone that has a homestay placement with the Canada Homestay Network. So regardless of what insurance supports you have, this is for you. It is it's a wonderful service that is provided to you and paid for by the Canada Homestay Network, and it's available immediately. So I'm going to be turning off my camera and putting on a little presentation for you to see. And I hopefully you will see it, no problem. Get the thumbs up from Allison if you can see it okay, Allison. Great. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my video so we don't distract too much. And there we go. Okay, so the Stay Healthy at School program. This is powered by Insured and available to all of you. Before we really get into the merits of the service, I do want to have a couple slides just on what mental health is. So the Stay Healthy at School program at its core is a support service to ensure that you have wonderful mental health support. So the understanding is that you have come to Canada and you're feeling good and you're feeling ready to take on the challenges of your international student experience, but things happen, right? We have stress in our lives. We have pressures on us that sometimes can affect our mental health. And the most important thing to remember is that your mental health is a part of your overall health. So what is mental health? It includes our emotions, feelings of connections to others, our thoughts, and of course, being able to manage life's highs and lows. Mental health exists in everyone. So when we're talking about mental health, we're often talking about it being on a spectrum running from poor mental health to good mental health. It is another marker for overall health. So when your doctor is meeting with you and they're asking how your physical self is, so how you're sleeping, how you're exercising, how you're eating, all of that is great to know for your doctor, but your mental health is also something that is of interest to them as well. And of course, our mental health does affect how we engage with the world and the other people in it. So whether that's our friends, our families, our teachers, everybody is affected by mental health. And of course, the way we treat one another is often an indicator of our mental health as well. I do want to pause and just let everybody know that the chat function is open. So if anybody has questions throughout the presentation, I do encourage you to type them into the chat. And at the end of the presentation, I'll make sure that we address all of the questions you might have. So positive mental health versus poor mental health. So in general, when we're experiencing positive mental health, we enjoy relationships with others. We realize our full potential. So it means we're excited and we're looking forward to the different things that are in our future, whether that our next step is another year of high school or perhaps post-secondary education. Maybe you're going to travel after you graduate high school. It's about being positive about the future. Of course, your everyday stresses that are upon you are something you can cope with normally when you have positive mental health. It means you work productively, both independently and in group settings. Working productively is a good indicator of positive mental health. You make meaningful contributions to your communities. So whether that's, going out and joining a local team, or it's something as simple as going out and having dinner, you're engaging with your community and you're being a part of life. That's a really important indicator of mental health as well. And of course, we are finding out more and more that our physical health and our personal habits are definitely impacted by our mental health. So when we have positive mental health, typically we enjoy more sleep. We also enjoy healthier body image and self-confidence and things like that. So it has a lot to do with your physical health when we're talking about mental health too. Now, warning signs of poor mental health. You can see that there are lots and lots of bullets here that you can read through in your own time. But really, the number one thing to remember when we're talking about poor mental health is, do you feel like you should? Do you feel the way that you used to a year ago when you were excited and happy and feeling good about life? It's really like, how has your life changed, or what kind of feelings are you experiencing that don't make you feel like you're getting the most out of life or enjoying life or looking forward to the future? What kind of thoughts are in your head, right? So we do have some symptoms of poor mental health that lead to eating or sleeping poorly, having mood swings, if you're getting in frequent fights with your family or friends, if you have unexplained aches and pains or feeling helpless or even hopeless, if you're engaging more in drinking or using drugs, especially more than usual, if you're feeling forgetful or on edge. And then really at the very, at one of the more severe cases, are you thinking of harming yourself or others? These are very important things to recognize in yourself and realize that you don't deserve to live that way, that you you deserve happiness, you deserve health, and you deserve the support that you need to get back to being who you are. I just also want to highlight that mental illness, which is what we say when someone is experiencing poor mental health, we often call that mental illness, and it's extremely common. 1 of every 5 people experience depression or anxiety. So that's a huge population. That's a huge population right now of people who are experiencing this. We are also seeing upticks of anxiety and mental illness after COVID and during COVID. And you can expect that by age 40, about half the population will at least one time have experienced a mental illness. So again, this is a very common thing for human beings. As you can imagine, we are a part of the human condition is to live and laugh and love. And of course, there are things that put us down in our lives too. And it's the understanding that everybody deserves to be happy and everybody deserves the support to get through their mental illness. Now, another thing to note is that typically mental health care is very costly. So in Canada, an estimated $950 million a year is spent on mental health services, psychologists in private practice, psychotherapists, you name it. And because it is not a service that is fully covered by our national healthcare system, about 30% of this is paid out of pocket, meaning that people have to budget themselves to pay for these services. So just keep in mind that it's a wonderful service. It's a wonderful thing that the Canada Homestay Network provides you with our Stay Healthy at School program. Because what this does is give you completely cost-free access to a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week multilingual phone line. And it offers support to address any mental health issues you're having, personal or school related, that are interfering with how you enjoy your life and your stay in Canada. So when it comes to the Stay Healthy at School program, it is offered, we call it a phone line, but it's also offered in person. So if you would much prefer to go and speak to somebody in the flesh, you want to sit in a room with a counselor, we are more than happy to make that arrangement for you. So in-person sessions are available in most parts of Canada. And of course, the video chat is a very popular model of counseling service. It does feel a little bit more connected than a simple phone call. And this is a service that's very popular and available through the Stay Healthy at School program as well. Again, this is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at any time, especially if you're in crisis. It's also completely confidential, and it's available in more than 100 languages. So we're just going to go through the pillars now. So the Stay Healthy at School program operates under 3 pillars. The first is that it's completely confidential. So what we mean by that is that it's not going to reflect on your academic records. It's not going to affect your homestay placement. This is something where when you're having a conversation with a counselor, it is completely confidential. The only people that have access to those records are the counselors at the Stay Healthy at School program. If you choose to do an in-person counseling visit, they will not book back-to-back appointments with people in the same program. So you won't walk out of the building and pass by somebody, as they are coming in and they happen to be in the same class as you. That would never happen. So they do their best to ensure that confidentiality is a huge factor in the support. The pillar number 2 is that it's completely voluntary. And that's an important element too, because it means that no one can book an appointment on your behalf. By saying voluntary, we are expecting that you are going to take the step towards using this program. So your homestay parents, your friends, your host family, they can definitely make suggestions. They can encourage you if they've noticed that you're not feeling well or you're feeling down. They can encourage you to use the phone line. And in fact, they can use it for themselves to get a little bit of guidance on how to reach you. But at the same time, they are not able to book appointments for you. So under no circumstances is someone able to book an appointment and come over to you and say, okay, you're talking with a counselor on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. That's not something that the service will allow. They need your direct consent to offer you the service. The third pillar, of course, is that it's accessible. So I have mentioned this a few times, but it does make sense to say it again. This service is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's available in more than 100 languages, and they have a service level of at least 85% of the calls answered within 30 seconds. And beyond 30 seconds to the minute mark, 100% of calls are answered in that amount of time. So they do have, the accessibility also includes a mobile device with accessibility features and online services through their website. Now, the urgent requests, of course, immediate support. So if you are in crisis and you need to speak to somebody right away, you can call and you're immediately put in touch with a psychotherapist or a counselor or a social worker. If you have a non-urgent request, so that means you haven't been really feeling like yourself, you're hoping to talk to a therapist, you kind of want to book that in advance, you can call up and you can say, these are the days that I'm free. Perhaps you have a time of day or a day of the week that works best for you, and you can work with somebody who can schedule that for you within 2 business days, and the referral is within 48 hours. If anybody has any questions, again, I'm just going to highlight that you can put those in the chat. if you have any questions about the service so far, and we'll be able to answer those at the end of the presentation. So when it comes to the counselor qualifications, we are talking about people that have dedicated their careers to this healthcare model. So the mental health support services through the Stay Healthy at School program often are supported by social workers, psychologists. There are some psychiatrists, of course, psychotherapists also are the service providers that you will have access to. Everybody that you speak to has a minimum of a master's degree, and of course have at least 5 years of postgraduate experience and clinical work, so they know what they're talking about. These aren't just specially trained volunteers. These are people that have the education to back up the counseling services that they are providing to you. And of course, they are in good standing with the relevant professional regulatory body, and their approach is solution focused. So the understanding is that they're meeting you, they're finding out what has been going on in your life that is causing you the stress or the anxiety or is making you feel depressed, and they're looking for solutions for you to move towards a happier time. Now, the counseling model, of course, the number of sessions, it's not unlimited, but typically students see or meet with their counselor over video chat or predetermined phone calls. It's usually 3 to 6 times. The average session is 3 to 4, but you can have up to 6 sessions. They will refer you to community services if they feel that you have a specialized need or you're in greater need for longer term support. They will work with you on finding somebody in your community to help you out with that. But they are certified counselors, psychotherapists, and they work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to provide you with immediate crisis support or a number of sessions based on their assessment of your condition. Now, again, the choice of counseling is in person. You can arrange it through email, video, phone, and of course, there's also a mobile chat feature on their app. Now, when it comes to the other services, so we do have a focus on mental health being the most important, and of course, the one that we expect is used most often. But they also have general advice for wellness coaching, life coaching, stress management, financial consultation. So if you're somebody who wants a little bit more advice when it comes to budgeting yourself, and a free 30-minute legal consultation as well if you're having problems with legal disputes, landlord-tenant rights, things like that. Usually that doesn't really come into play until you're a bit older, though. So when it comes to the online and mobile access, the website is ca.helpwhereyouare.com. And at the bottom of the page, it's going to ask you for a company code and just enter SHAS. Then it'll ask you for the language that you prefer to receive the information in, and you go from there. And online, you can see that there are a number of different topics, health topics. And what I've highlighted here is that it does have an instant messaging chat function as well. So you can see it says Live Connect at the bottom right here. And when you click that, it pops open a chat. So you can immediately speak to a counselor. Again, there are a number of different articles, including healthy living, information on men's health and adolescent health, and different topics that you can explore in your own time. There's also modules for self-directed self-care and cognitive behavioral therapy models. So you can pop around the website and explore it at your own leisure. And again, if you want to immediately chat with a counselor, there is a chat function. And then there's also the ability to schedule an appointment with a counselor. So that there behind here, it says contact a counselor, and you click on that and you can fill out a form and they'll get in touch with you at a later date. The Stay Healthy at School program also gives access to the iConnectU app. So again, this is an app that has very similar features to the online services that I mentioned before. There's an instant chat feature as well as a direct dial, and it has access to all of the articles as well. So you can download this in the Google Play or the App Store, and you're searching the app called iConnectU, and when you click sign up, and you're You're going to make yourself a profile, and the passcode to get that app downloaded is SHAS. So we do make that kind of simple for you. And these are some screenshots rather of the app itself. And you can see that if you click on these little lines right here, it pulls up this menu and it gives you all of those options on how to get in touch. So you can call instantly, you can instant message, you can send a text message, or you can arrange a video chat. Okay, so the app is a really great resource as well. So again, if you want to just put that phone number right in your phone, I do encourage you to use it, 1-833-646-1524. That's the direct line to the Stay Healthy at School program. We do encourage you to download the iConnectU app or visit the online resources when you have time to explore those as well. And that's it. So I'm going to turn over to the Q&A and the chat right now. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And I think I'm going to pop my video back on. Did we notice any questions? How can I apply for the SHAS? That's a great question. So the Stay Healthy at School program is already good to go. Everybody that has a homestay placement with Canada Homestay Network already has access to the Stay Healthy at School program, so you can start using it immediately. The program is only available while the school program I'm in. So I imagine what you're asking is just, can I just use this anytime? As long as you are staying in a Canadian home, a homestay arranged by the Canada Homestay Network, you can use this program. So don't hesitate. It's available right now, and it's available until you leave the homestay that you're in. Any other questions? Those are great questions for sure. Of course, we do have, if you ever have additional questions about the Stay Healthy at School program, if you go to stayhealthyatschool.com, you are also able to contact us and ask any questions that you may have. But downloading the app, going to the website, those resources are available to you anytime to learn a little bit more and ask any questions you may have. What do you recommend to sleep well? That's a really good question. I personally am not a sleep coach or a sleep consultant, but I do have experience with sleep deprivation. So I have a situation where I have a very loud mind. I tend to be very busy during the day, and then when I go to sleep, that's when my brain turns on and starts really thinking about all that stuff. And I will have to say, as someone who also seeks counseling when I need it, so I see a therapist once a month just to check in. I don't feel mentally ill. It's actually just something that I do to make myself feel better and stay on track with where my life's going. And just talking to somebody has really helped that, because it gives you that understanding that when you talk to somebody about your problems, maybe somebody who is not connected to you in any other way, so they're not your friend, they're not your mom, they're not your host parent, it gives them a perspective that someone else can't, who doesn't know you personally. So I get some really good advice from my therapist about that, actually. And it feels good to be able to unload some of the stresses onto somebody who has that outside perspective. So if you're asking like what a good amount of recommended sleep is, I do know that people within the high school range or between young people should be getting at least 8 hours of sleep. So if that's not what you're getting, I think it would be a good idea to explore why you're not sleeping. And if it's because you have a loud mind like I do, if it's something that maybe a therapist can help you get through and get back to a good sleep routine. Mm-hmm. Any other questions that might be coming up in your mind? I think it's important to also note that you, depending on what insurance you have, you also have access to mental health services through that as well. So the Stay Healthy at School program is a fantastic first stop to your mental health support, but it doesn't stop there, and your host parents and the wonderful people at Canada Homestay Network can help guide you. So the big takeaway for this session is to remember that we care about you and you're a valuable person, and we want you to have a great experience while you're here in Canada. And if we can help you with our Stay Healthy at School program to make sure that that is exactly what you're experiencing, then that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. So I think the questions are not really coming in anymore, so we can probably end this if you agree, Allison and Karen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here today. It was really a pleasure to have you and to hear and learn so much more about the program. The other resource that you guys have available to you, of course, is your relationship manager, your local relationship manager, who can help you if you forget how to access this or have difficulty downloading the app. You can check in with your relationship manager and they'll be able to kind of walk you through it as well. But thank you so much, Stephanie. It was really nice to hear so much more about the program.
Yeah, fantastic. And Allison, I see that you do have a number of resources available on that link that you put in the chat. So I'll make sure that you also have the instructions on how to download the app, and everything can be loaded into there.
Perfect. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
So everyone, this was our second in a series of partners webinars. So our next one will be next Thursday evening, same time, same place. So we will be hearing from our partner Sidekick. So to register for all of those events, you will be getting an email, but here is the link in the chat for our webinars schedule. And that's where we'll be posting all of the video links once they are completed as well. So thank you so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate you being here, Stephanie, and for all of the students joining us as well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.